In the small village of Santa Cruz, nestled against the deep shadows of the briarwood forest, children are taught one rule above all others: never go near the river after dark. They are raised on stories of the weeping woman, La Llorona, a tormented spirit who wanders the waterways, eternally searching for the children she lost so long ago. They say her cries can freeze the blood and that to see her is to be lost forever. For young Mateo, these were just stories, meant to keep children from wandering too far from home. Mateo possessed a bravery that often bordered on foolishness. One evening, under the pale light of a full moon, his friends dared him. His grandfather's silver locket, his only memory of the man, had been lost near the forest's edge earlier that day. His friends, too afraid to venture close, challenged him to retrieve it. For Mateo, it wasn't about the dare, it was about the locket. Ignoring the whispers of the legend and the pleas of his friends, he stepped past the final cottage and into the oppressive silence of the woods. The forest was a different world at night. Gnarled trees clawed at the sky, their branches like skeletal fingers in the moonlight. Every snap of a twig felt like a footstep behind him. Mateo's flashlight beam cut a nervous path through the gloom. As he reached the area where he'd lost his locket, a sound drifted through the trees. It was faint at first, carried on the wind, the sound of a woman crying. Not a sad cry, but a wail of pure, unending despair. The weeping grew louder, pulling him deeper into the forest, closer to the forbidden river. The sound was hypnotic, filled with a sorrow so profound it tugged at his heart. He forgot the locket. He forgot the dare. All he could think about was the source of that terrible sound. The air grew cold, and a thick fog began to roll in from the water, clinging to the ground like a shroud. Through the mist, he saw a flicker of white. Standing by the riverbank was a tall, slender figure in a flowing white gown. Her back was to him, her shoulders shaking with sobs. Her long, black hair obscured her face as she stared into the dark, rushing water. It was her. La Llorona. Mateo froze, his heart hammering against his ribs. The stories were real. He tried to back away, but his foot snapped a branch. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the silent woods. The weeping stopped. Slowly, the figure turned. Her face was hidden in shadow, but he could feel her gaze lock onto him. A voice, thin and ghostly, whispered across the water, "Hijo, my son, is that you?" She began to glide towards him, her feet not touching the ground. She stretched out a hand, her fingers long and pale. Terror finally broke Mateo's paralysis. He scrambled backward, falling over roots as he tried to flee. The spirit's whisper turned into a piercing shriek of rage and loss that ripped through the night. "I, Miss Hios." Mateo didn't stop running. He burst from the tree line, gasping for air, his clothes torn and his face scratched. He didn't look back until he was safe within the lamplight of the village. He never found his grandfather's locket. But some nights, when the moon is full and the wind is just right, he can still hear a faint, sorrowful cry drifting from the forest. And he knows that she is still out there, forever weeping by the water.